Alliances, a basic part of Survivor that have completely shaped the history of this game and how it is played. They started off simple enough in season 1 of Survivor Borneo, with the Toggy 4 and their basic tactic to steamroll until the end. However, Survivor the Australian Outback sees the next step, the evolution of what an alliance could be. For the 1-year anniversary of this channel, we are celebrating by doing a 4-part mini-series tackling the evolution of alliances in the first few seasons of the show. This is part 2. Subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing are what keeps this channel growing for the years to come. If you want to do a little bit more to help us keep growing, then consider supporting this channel on Patreon. You get all videos weeks before they see the light of day here on YouTube, and you can vote for which survivors I tell the stories of, and get an exclusive Patreon only video each month. Thank you for your support. So what is an onion alliance? For those who have watched a lot of Survivor, this may not sound familiar, but while this name is never actually used in the context I'm about to use it, it is essentially a layered alliance. Now this can come in many different forms, but I think the version we're about to witness here in the Australian Outback is a basic form and a good starting point to understand what an onion alliance is. In this case, it is an alliance of 5 people from Ogakor, where 3 of them plan on going to the end with each other, and the other 2 are disposable, but they don't know they're disposable. Now I must briefly credit the Onion Alliance name as something I am pulling from people who talk about Big Brother, and also credit that at one time there was an Onion Alliance in Survivor Gabon, but that was just the name of it. It's not what we're talking about today. But this type of alliance is something you will see quite often in the game of Survivor, yet it's never really given a name, so here I am doing just that. Okay, so how does this Onion Alliance work? How did it start? How did it happen? And how did it turn out? Essentially, within Survivor the Australian Outback, Tina Weston and Keith Famey formed the beginning of this alliance in episode 4 of the show.
You know, we were going to go fishing. You all were asleep. We're going to go fishing. And apparently Keith wanted to have a talk with me, so he said, well, Tina, let's just go walk along the bank and fish that way.
You see, this was born out of necessity, as their tribe has already been to 2 tribal councils, and Jerry Manthe laid out at the previous tribal that all the young people are aligned with each other, so Keith and Tina are on the bottom. Keith even says that he doesn't care about winning anymore, just about stopping Jerry after those comments she made.
I've been very fortunate in my ability to bond with Amber and Mitchell and Colby in particular.
I can tell you one thing, Tina and I are not going to go down without a fight. I came here to win the money, but now my motive isn't to win the money, but do everything I can to make sure she does not win the money.
However, 2 people is not enough to make an alliance that's worth anything. They need someone else. They decide Colby might work if he flips, and possibly Mitchell. But Colby especially is the one that they really hone in on. He had been flirting with Jerry previously, but Tina and Keith get to work. Tina starts by trying to talk to Colby and Mitchell about how Jerry doesn't care about them, and she's just using them.
And you all realize that you're nothing to Jerry? She said, I'm in it to win. And, you know, she's gonna do whatever.
What Tina's doing here is really feeling them out and figuring out where they stand with Jerry, and she hones in that between Colby and Mitchell, Colby's the one that they can definitely flip.
My thought was, if I could get Colby, that would be 2 of us. And then maybe Colby could talk to Amber.
So she thinks, let's get Colby, and then maybe he'll be able to reel in Amber and make this a 4-person alliance, like what we saw in Borneo. Keith then talks to Colby one-on-one from a more grounded perspective that I think probably connects to Colby a bit closer as a human.
I had to get out of the tent. There's a little estrogen overload in the tent right now, and I couldn't deal with that. Tina was taking things way too personal.
But I mean, who knows, man? You and Jerry could get married.
I know that ain't happening.
I'll tell you straight on right now, she ain't good enough for you.
Now this conversation with Keith ends up being the nail in the coffin for the alliance Jerry had, because you do not see Colby treat her well at all for the rest of the season, which he had previous to this conversation. But Jerry is too enamored by him to ever notice.
It's all for naught, you know?
Hey, don't worry about it. It's not like you're making a deal with the devil here.
At the next tribal, Colby votes with Tina and Keith to eliminate Mitchell, and they now have a 3-person alliance within their tribe of 5. Jerry inquires with him about what happened at the previous tribal, and Colby acts as if, I'm not part of any alliance. I was just simply voting for whoever I perceive as the weakest, which seems to work on Jerry for now.
I'm still voting just like I did last night, based on who the strongest, who I think's got what it takes to make it in.
Tina and Keith are definitely grouped together, but Colby's like the one in the middle. Like, they're totally grouping together.
Now, they never go back to tribal during the pre-merge, so when the merge does come, each tribe enters with 5 people apiece, and by default, Ogakor and Kucha are all voting together no matter what. In this season, people aren't too shy about being an alliance. In essence, the Onion Alliance is now officially formed because Tina, Colby, and Keith are the inner core, while Jerry and Amber are on the outer layer. Jerry and Amber aren't flipping over to Kucha, they're part of Ogakor, but they don't realize that they're disposable. And they really have no idea because they still think Colby can be swayed to their side.
I mean, it's basically the end of any alliance, pretty much.
Jerry, I don't care. I don't care about that stage of it.
Now, Colby is a crucial part to maintaining this alliance, and really, it's a crucial part to maintaining any alliance when it comes to making people feel like they're not on the bottom. In an Onion Alliance, you need people to always think that they're on the inner part. They're the inner part of the onion. They're not the outer layer. That's other people. Other people are the outer layer. Because if they think they're on the bottom, then they're more than likely going to flip or do their own thing. But Colby is playing double agent here in a way that strings along Jerry and Amber just enough to make them not align with Kucha. The Onion Alliance survives the merge vote due to a tiebreaker and holds a 5-4 lead over Kucha. A Jerry and Amber flip at any time would completely ruin them though, and would give Kucha a 6-3 advantage. So they have to make them feel safe until it's too late and they're blindsided or there are just not enough Kucha members left. However, after that merge vote, Jerry and Amber try to talk to Colby and make him pick a side.
So the inevitable came. I was painted into a corner and had to lie to her to convince her that there wasn't anything going wrong. Jerry doesn't deserve to win this thing, if for no other reason, simply because of the way she's treated the people around her.
Filled me in on something I was completely unaware of.
Yeah, I didn't like the fact that I had to lie, but because I was lying to Jerry, I didn't lose sleep over it.
Now, he successfully wards off Jerry by basically giving a lot of non-answers and never actually saying if he's committed to anyone. He kind of just says, well, I'm not committed to Keith and Tina like they think I am, which is a lie, but it is enough to work on Jerry. It helps keep the alliance together through the next tribal and gives them a 5-3 lead. However, the next episode is where everything gets flipped on its head. Now, I talked about this fairly in depth in the story videos about Tina and Colby, so if you want all of the details, that's the place to go. But basically, the alliance is feeling comfortable enough to think that if we got rid of one of them, we should be fine. The other one will not flip to Kucha.
So there is one other alternative. So we can eliminate Jerry. I mean, well, yeah, but we're stuck with it for today.
Now, in my opinion, this is one tribal council too soon, and I think general consensus is that this is a tribal council too soon, but the distaste for Jerry is too much that they jump the gun here. So they vote Jerry off and peel away one part of the outer layer of their alliance.
Jerry, tribe has spoken.
Thankfully for the Onion Alliance, we never see Amber talk about flipping or even seem betrayed, though obviously she would have had to have felt that way, even if they don't show it on the show. They hold it together through the next vote to eliminate Nick and get a 4-2 lead that then has them, once again, making a move to peel away the outer layer of their onion and vote out Amber before all of the Kuchas are gone.
Amber, the tribe has spoken.
This vote makes a bit more sense than the Jerry vote, as the remaining 2 Kucha can do nothing to overturn the dominant 3 left from the Onion Alliance, aside from winning immunities, which is highly unlikely. Roger is an older man, and Elizabeth is not really a challenge beast. Colby's the one out here winning all the challenges. They end up easily picking them off one after another until Colby, Tina, and Keith are the final 3, and Tina wins the game.
The winner of Survivor, the Australian Outback.
The Onion Alliance is a clear step forward for alliances, and while it wasn't perfectly executed, in fact, I don't think it was even meant to be an Onion Alliance, that's just how things kind of panned out, it is a strategy that is still utilized to this day, and it is an effective part of having a good alliance that will last you through the end of the game. Next time on Once Upon an Island, we will be looking at the Floater Strategy Alliance of Survivor Marquesas. Thanks for watching, and if you like the content you see here, then please support me and this channel on Patreon. Your financial support makes this channel possible, so thank you, and thank you for watching.